Hi, this is Denise Mathew, and today I'm going to make a gemstone ring. I'm going to make a gemstone ring, making the ring form first, and then I'm going to put gemstone beads on it. Sometimes you buy gemstone beads, oftentimes you will, and the wire that can fit through it is quite small and thin, and it's not very suitable for making a ring. So this is a way to make a ring that you can use those thinner wired, smaller hole gemstones. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a ring form, and I'm going to make it one size bigger than what I want my ring to be. So if I want my ring to be size 7, I'm going to go down to the 8 and then just wrap it around, just right around once. Okay, and you have your, this is what you have. Okay, and you have those two tails, and when you're wrapping, make sure that you don't twist the wires. They should be side by side parallel like that. Next thing you do is you're just going to take one of those tails and just going to wrap it right around the base, and we're just not really going to have to worry. You don't have to really worry too much about what this looks like, because this is going to be your base and the gemstones are going to go right over that. Okay, so this is more stability than anything. So just take those wires and then tuck them in under there like this. Alright, just right under, a couple wraps. It doesn't really make a difference. Like I said, it's just really to hold your ring. Okay, so now you have this thing, and again your wires are parallel. Okay, they're not crossing. Now put it back on the ring mandrel and see what the size is. The size is a size 7. Okay, so now I have a size 8, and I've wire hardened it a bit, so it's going to be a little bit stiffer for me. Alright, now that I have that, I'm going to take my bead, and I have an Apatite bead here, and I have a 26 gauge wire. So just center it right in the center of your base, and you're just going to start to wrap the wire around the base of your ring. And if you notice, it's a bit wiggly. So just center it in the middle of that where you put those wire wraps, and then just go right around a few times just to get it to stay in place. Okay. Try and make these tight if you can, because this will show. Now that side's done, and now I'm going to go on the other side. Now you can have as much wire as you like. It really depends upon how much you want to wrap around. If you're, just being very frugal and you just want to do a couple wraps, then you'll need less. Right now, I think I'm working with about a foot of wire. And again, it might be too much, but let's just see. So right now, just stabilizing it. So now I have it stabilized like that. Okay. And now you can start to wrap around your stone. So I'm just going to take this and wrap it around, and this is much like any regular ring you would make, except you're adding wire to it that is to a base rather than just making it all from the same wire. So I just wrapped that around a few times, just giving it a bit more support, and then take the other wire and then just kind of wrap around. And this is really freeform. This is what you want to do. It's not really that important. Now I have a bit of a tail there, just enough because I want to wrap down the base a little bit, and then I'm just going to wrap a little bit more here. Just a couple more times, trying to use up that wire, and then I will have another tail, and this is, so far that's what we have. Okay, so now you're going to take those tails and you're going to just go right over the same wraps that you actually made when you did the base of your ring, and you're just going to keep wrapping. Now these you want to be a little neater, because these ones will show. Alright. And then tuck that in, and if you have too much, you can always trim it back, and then go to the other side, just tuck it in and around and around. Use the wire that you have. Try and make it even if you can. And then that would be the other side. And at this point, you can just kind of squeeze the wires a little bit, see what it looks like, see if it's okay, and then you would have yourself a gemstone ring that you've added the wire, and you know, you're able to make it with that smaller bead. Okay, another variation of that ring, I already have a ring form made, would be something like this. Now Mother's Day is coming up fairly soon, so if you wanted to do like a family ring, that would be a really great idea. You would just put like the different gemstones that were different birthstones, you know, for family or for kids or whatever like that. So this is just all garnet, and right now I already have my beads ready to go. So I'm using a 26 gauge wire. Again, I'm just going to do the same thing, just going to lay my beads on top of that form. And then this is the tricky part. It's just a matter of holding them in place just while you get that wire in there, just to hold it into place. Okay, so that's there. And this is a little bit different. What we're going to do with this one is we're going to wrap between the beads. Now, you don't want them to be too tight, because I'll show you why in a minute, but just have a little space between the beads so that you can do a little wire wrapping. Okay, so now that I have that stabilized, I'm going to go through right through each individual gemstone. So right down and around the base. Try not to kink your wire. It's very easy to do when you're working with finer wire. Okay, right through the base. Okay, that's one done, and then right back up, right between that two. Now you might have some space in between them, but that's all right because we're going to fill that in with some wire. So don't worry about that. Okay, so another one. Back down, right up between those. And back down again. Right between. And you can see it's bringing it back into, bringing it into a bit of form now. All right. Now, back up. Now pushing them all together so that we have some sort of a bit more of a form there. Alright, so this is so far what we have. Okay, now I'm going to keep wrapping. So I'm going to wrap one side here. That other piece of wire there, I'm going to trim that back so you don't have to just pretend it's not even there. Okay, so we have this, and then we're going to go back over, and we're going to go the other way. Okay, using all that wire that we have. Again, I'm using about a foot of wire. Okay. So we're just crossing it over a little bit. And again, really free form. You don't have any strict rules on how to do this. Okay, and just going back, and what you can do on the other side is match it up with how much wire wrapping you've done on that side. So just kind of wrap it around the base a few times. So what you're doing right now is you're just evening it up because you're pretty much almost done. Okay, just make sure it's sort of close to the other side. And then when you feel you have enough, then what you can do is trim that back. Make sure there's no stray wires that will poke anybody. Now what happens is I'm going to just take this. I don't really need this wire here anymore because it was really just to stabilize. I'm going to take that and just kind of wrap it up a little closer to the rest. Like that. So that it looks about the same, and then trim back any excess you have. Right, and then you would have your ring. Now if you need to put it back on the ring mandrel just to make sure that it's nice and a nice circle in case it went out of shape, mine stayed in shape pretty good, so. And then that would be your finished ring. Okay, so this concludes the tutorial. I hope you liked it. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.